50-minute total body conditioning class. The only equipment you really need is probably an exercise mat just to make things more comfortable, unless you're on carpet, which would probably be fine. And then a chair, which I will show you how to use later. If you want, you can have weights nearby, and I will give some modifications showing you how to do things with weights to add more resistance, but it's totally not necessary if you don't have any. So please make sure you're listening to your body. Don't do anything if it feels wrong for you. I will give some modifications, like I said, with the weights or with other equipment or without equipment. So yeah, please make sure you've checked with a healthcare provider before starting a new exercise routine. But let's go ahead and get started with our warm-up. So let's just start with a heel tap in front of you. Just beginning to open up the backs of our legs. We'll do 4, 3, 2, then hug your knees in. 10 times. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back to that heel tap. Last 2, last 1. Bring your knee in. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This time, like kicking yourself in the bum, like a hamstring curl. Let's do one more on each side. Right here. Let's squat 10 times. 10. Weights in our heels, hips sink back. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Back to that hamstring curl. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Squat it down for 10. Again, weights in your heels, hips sink back, so knees stay behind the toes. Two more. All right, we're gonna do a wide toe tap like this, and our arms are gonna come across our body, warming up our spine, beginning to warm up our shoulders a little bit for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Arms overhead. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Arms come across. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Arms overhead. Right here. Three, 2, 1. All right, we're gonna do about 30 seconds of a jumping jack. Go ahead and start right here. So out and in. Low impact option would be to tap out your leg and bring it back. About 30 seconds. Let's do 10 more. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, give me a step touch. Just keep moving while I explain our workout. So I have 12 exercises. We're alternating upper body, lower body, core, and cardio. So 3 clumps of that grouping. We're gonna do each exercise for 30 seconds with a 15-second rest in between. And we're gonna try, I think we can make it through all 12 exercises probably 4 times, but we'll play that by ear. I think we can do it. Okay, so our first exercise is gonna be a squat kick. So you're gonna squat it down, weights in your heels, hips sink back, knees behind your toes, and when you come up, you're gonna kick your foot right up in front of you, okay? You're kicking through your heel, like that, and it doesn't have to come up very high. If that doesn't feel right in your body, Keep it low. All right? So 30 seconds, 15-second break while I'll explain the next exercise. I have an interval timer here. Hopefully you'll hear it chiming. 30 seconds right here. So it's squat and kick. Squat, kick. Weights in the heels, but it doesn't have to come up very high. All right, next exercise is a push-up. So coming down onto your toes or on your knees, hands slightly wider than shoulder distance apart, wrist creases parallel or slightly turned out to the front edge of your mat. 30 seconds push-ups. Here we go. Again, you can be on your knees or up on your toes. Maybe start with what's a little more challenging, and then as you get fatigued, bringing it down. Tailbone scooping under so that our hips aren't piped up behind us. This can always be done instead of a push-up. You can lay on your back with the weights and do a chest press. All right, our next exercise is plank with a shoulder tap. So you're going to be in a plank, again, either on your knees or on your toes, hips tucked under so we don't have our hips way up. And we're just going to tap opposite shoulders without swinging back and forth. 30 seconds. So you have to hold your core in here and breathe. Nice controlled movement, tapping opposite shoulder. Pick the more challenging option for you, so on your knees or up on your toes. All right, standing it up. Our next exercise is cardio, high knees. So it's just a jog. Knees can be right at hip height. I tend to hold my hands out so I can see where my knees need to go. We have 2 more seconds. Here we go. Low impact option would be to make this a quick march. Doing good. More seconds. All right, lunge. Okay, so we're gonna step forward into a lunge. We're gonna add a little twist to this. So your hands will be extended in front of you, fingers clasped together. Stepping forward on your right. Little twist to the right, bring it back, and step up. So lunge, twist, center, up. Lunge, twist, center, up. Weights in the heel of that front foot, knees not coming forward of your toes. Feet are hips distance apart when you step out so that you have a nice stable base. You can add a weight to that front hand if you want a little bit more. All right, let's see, tricep dips. So this is where our chair comes in. You're gonna sit on your chair, fingers facing forward towards your bum, legs extended, hips come off the chair, lower and up. 30 seconds. Keep going. Another option for this would be to have your weight, hands overhead, bring it down and back up, elbows pointing forward. So you pick what feels best in your body. If you have any shoulder sensitivities, this might be a little bit too much extension for you. So pick what feels right for you. All right, we are doing a rotating plank. So coming onto a plank for 30 seconds, you'll lift right arm up, down, left arm up, down. Option to be on your knees. The top leg will extend. 30 seconds. Let's go. Join me when you're ready. Okay. Up, down, up, down. Make sure you're breathing. Hips stay low, Shoulders stay right over top of your wrists. All right, our next exercise, jumping jacks. 30 seconds of jumping jacks. So grab a sip of water. We have 5 seconds before that starts. And here we go. Again, your low impact option here is step it out and back in. Or if you have anything going on in your shoulder today, you can leave your hands at your hips. All right, but pick, again, what feels best in your body. All right, step touch. Next exercise, a squat with the side leg lift. So kind of like what we did earlier, we're gonna squat it down. Our leg's gonna lift out to the side this time. Our knee and our toe are pointing forward, so we're using our outer hip. So go ahead and start, squat down, leg lifts, just about a foot off the floor. It doesn't have to come very high. So we're using that outer hip. If your toes start to point up, that's when you're using your glutes. It's not what we're trying to do here. So squat it down, weights in your heels, and up. Squat, and up. Make sure you're breathing. All right, our next exercise is plank walks. So do this as far as your space allows, and then come back. So you're gonna be in a plank position. Whoops. Hopefully you can see me okay, but you're just gonna walk laterally to one side. Again, as far as your space allows, and then back to the other side. Hips are low, shoulders right over top of your wrists. Always an option, you could be on your knees here as well. Okay? So pick what works best in your body. So up on your toes or on your knees. All right, so stay down to the floor because next we're doing alternating arm and leg raises from a plank. So in your plank position, a few options. You can do right arm, left leg, and then switch. Or you can do arm, arm, leg, leg, or down on your knees. Go ahead and start. Arm, arm, leg, leg, or alternate arm and legs from your knees as well. So toes and knees pointing down towards the floor, arm reaching right out to shoulder height, like you're gonna shake somebody's hand, core stays engaged. All right, here we go. Last cardio one before we start it over again. You're starting with your feet apart. So it's in, out, squat it down, tap the floor. So you're going low. In, out, squat it down the other side. Join me when you're ready. Out, in, out, squat it down. Hips are low. You will have to bend forward some, but it's your hips bringing you down so you can tap that floor. Keep breathing. All right, 15-second break. We start back at the top with that squat with the leg lift forward. So grab a sip of water, keep moving, take some deep breaths. Okay, squat it down, kick it front. Squat and kick. Hips sink back, knees behind your toes. Doing great, keep breathing. There we go. Step touch. Our next exercise, push-ups. So coming in down to the floor. Hands slightly wider than shoulder distance on your knees or your toes. We have 5 more seconds. Let's take a deep breath. Set it up. Here we go. Push up. Chest is coming all the way down, coming low. Tailbone scoops under, so hips aren't jacked up behind us. Making sure you're breathing. All right, 15-second rest here. Our next exercise are those shoulder taps. So you're in your plank position on your knees or your toes and tapping your shoulders. Okay, here we go, 30 seconds. Tap, tap. So keeping our core strong, trying to keep our hips level and not letting them sort of dance from side to side. Wrists come right underneath of your shoulders. All right, 15-second break, and we are doing the high knees. So standing it up, 5 more seconds. That jog knees right up to hip height. Hands can be on your hips, or you can hold them out so you know how high your knees need to get. Keep breathing. Halfway there. Three, two, one. All right, step touch. Next exercise is that lunge with a twist. So you're gonna step it forward, arms straight out in front of you, twist, together, back up. Your hips stay pointing forward. That twist is coming right from your torso. Okay, so forward, twist, center, back up. Forward, twist, center, back up. Doing great. Keep going. Finish out the side you were on. All right, next exercise, tricep dips. So again, you can be on your chair, fingers pointing towards your hips, hips come off and lower and press. Or if you have that weight, I'm gonna show it this time, down and up. All right, our 30 seconds has started. Make sure you're breathing. Triceps here. If you're doing this tricep extension instead of the dip, elbows point straight forward. Shoulders melt down away from your ears. I'm just kneeling so that you can see it on the camera. You don't have to kneel, you can be standing here. All right. Rotating plank. So our next exercise, you're starting in that plank position, either on your knees or your toes. So right arm lifts and back down. Left arm lifts, back down. Controlled movement, core stays engaged. So we're not slamming that hand down, we're gently placing it back down to the floor, right underneath of our shoulder. Hips stay lifted, but not hiked up way behind us. All right, bring it down. What's next? Jumping jacks. So stand it up, 30-second jumping jacks. Here we go. Don't forget to breathe. Low impact option if you need it. Four, three, 2, and 1. All right, the next exercise is a squat with the side leg lift. So So feet slightly wider than hips distance. You're gonna squat it down. Leg goes out the side, toes and knees pointing forward. Squat, opposite side. All right? 30 seconds right here. Squat and lift. Keep going, doing good. Make sure you're breathing, weights in your heels. Chest stays lifted. You will hinge forward slightly, but we're not curling over. All right, next is those plank walks. I'm gonna spin the other way, give you a little bit of a different view this time. So again, you're coming into a plank position, and you're gonna walk left and right as much as your space allows. Here we go. Back the other way when you reach as far as you can. And maybe it's just up and down your mat. That's mostly the space I have here. So hips are low, shoulders right over top of your wrist. Knees can be down. In some ways that's more challenging. Okay, so you pick what feels best for you. All right. Stay down to the floor because I believe next we have the alternating arms and leg raises. So you can do this in plank. You can do it from all fours. You can lift arm, arm, leg, leg. You pick what works for you. This time I'm going to be on all fours. Right arm, left leg. Sit it down. And opposite, sit it down. So again, my toes and the knees of that back leg are pointing right down, or the lifted leg I should say, are pointing down to the floor. And it's coming right out from our hip. So it's not going to the center, to the outside. And that front arm is reaching right up to shoulder height. Palm faces the midline. Like you're reaching out to shake someone's hand. All right. So we're back to our last exercise. Doing that out in squat. So starting out, so it's hop, hop, squat it down, tapping the floor. Hips go way back to get that tap in. 30 seconds, let's go. Weights in your heels. Keep breathing. All right. Grab a sip of water. We're gonna go back up to the top. We're doing good. We have some time. I think we can get through it 2 more times. All right, squat it down, leg lift to the front. So squat, kick, front. Squat, kick, front. Kicking through your heel. Weights in your heels as you squat down. So when you're all the way down, you can still see your toes in front of your knees. Keep breathing. Almost there. All right. Next set is push-ups. 30 seconds of push-ups on your knees or on your toes. I'm going to show a modification this time around just in case you want to take it. You can have those weights and be on your back. And do a chest press instead. So right at sternum height, pressing the weights up and down. Breathing here. So again, you're doing a push-up or this chest press here. This is just a modification if the push-up doesn't feel right in your body. Right at sternum height, pressing it up and down. Breathing. All right, let's see. We are doing the high knees. No, I'm sorry, plank with the shoulder taps. So coming into your plank position on your knees or your toes, hips are staying stable. 30 seconds here, just tap opposite shoulder. Wrists are right underneath of your elbows, hips are low, belly's engaged. So pick the option option that's going to challenge you. It should be challenging, but it shouldn't be, you know, really stressful. All right, now we're standing up for those high knees. 5 more seconds. All right, here we go. High knees up. Keep breathing. More seconds. Knees stay high. All right. Next exercise is the lunge with the twist. So stepping your foot forward, twist out to the side, step it back. Here we go. Step it forward. So step, twist, center, back up. Step, twist, center, back up. Again, hips point forward. It's your upper body that twists and comes back. So right here from your waist, making sure you're breathing, holding that lunge. Weights in the heel of that front foot. So your knee staying behind your toes. All right. We are back to our tricep dips. So you can do this again like I showed last time with the weight, with the extension, or on your chair. Fingers pointing towards your hips, legs in front of you, hips come off, down and up. So let's make sure that this movement is coming from our arms, so from our triceps, and that we're not doing this. Okay, so your hips are just kind of going along for the ride. Almost there. Okay. Back to that rotating plank. So finding your plank pose, hands right underneath your shoulders. So we have a tendency as we get tired to lean back and start hiking our hips up. Shoulders come way behind our wrists. So let's keep our shoulders right over our wrists and our tail. Scooped under. Tailbone, I should say, scooped under. Breathing here. Doing great. We're over halfway there. All right, bring it down. Next exercise, jumping jacks. A little step touch. We're doing great. 3, 2, here we go. Remember your low impact option, or hands to your hips in either form. If your shoulders are getting fatigued or sore, that might be the better option. All right, step touch. Next is our, let's see, squats with the leg lifts to the side. So starting with our legs slightly wider than hips distance, toes and knees pointing forward the whole time. Squat it down, lift it up. Only maybe a foot off the floor. And our head's reaching straight up towards the ceiling, not over to the side. Okay? Straight up. And breathing. Let's do one more. All right. Next exercise is our plank walks. All right. So finding that plank position, walking back and forth as long as your space allows. Shoulders right over top of wrists. one side and back to the other. Option to be on your knees here with your hips low. So you pick what's challenging for you. If the incline's too much, you could even do this if you have like a long bench. You could do it with your hands on a bench instead. Just adjust that incline. Let's see. Alternate arm and leg raises. So let's start with the most challenging here, and then if we get fatigued, work it down. So starting in your plank, left arm, right leg, right arm, left leg. Hips are stable. Arm comes up to shoulder height, leg is up to hip height. Option to bring your knees down. Oops, wrong way. And they can be right underneath your hips. Oops, kicking my chair. All right, last exercise in our set, the out in jumps with the little squat. So tapping the floor. If you can't reach the floor, just reach down as low as you can, okay? Here we go. So in, out, tap. In, out, tap. If you want to take the jump out, you can make it a little quick shuffle. Hips sink back. Knees keep pointing right out over your toes. Keep breathing. One more. All right. 15 seconds until we start that whole 12 exercises. Back at the top. Then we'll be doing some abs, and then we'll cool it down. So we're getting so close. Stick with it. Going back to that squat with the kick to the front. So squat and kick. Squat and kick. Make sure you're pausing to grab a sip of water as you need it. Make sure you're not chugging water because we don't want to be sloshy. All right, we're going back down to those push-ups. Remember the option I demonstrated last time on your back, the presses, the chest presses. All right, so push-ups here, 30 seconds. On your knees or your toes. Tailbones long, so reaching out the crown of your head, straight line all the way back to your knees or your heels, wherever you are right now. Shoulders coming down all the way to your elbows, pressing it back up. Keep breathing. All right, my glasses are sliding down. Let's see. The plank shoulder taps. All right, take a deep breath. 4 more seconds, let's set it up. Here we go, 30 seconds, shoulder taps on your knees or up on your toes. Hips are stable, wrists right underneath of your elbows. Core is engaged. Keep breathing. All right. So we are, let's see, to the high knees. Here we go. Last set of these, you got it. Knees all the way up to hip height. Even if you're doing a march instead, knees all the way up. Make it quick if you're taking that march option. Landing with a little bend still in your knees to take some of that impact so we're not potentially injuring our knees. Keep breathing. Almost there. All right, next exercise is a lunge with a little twist. So set it up. Wait just a second. So we're gonna step forward into that lunge, twist open towards the front leg. All right, so step forward, finding that twist, in and back. Forward, twist, in and back. Hips and knees stay pointed forward. That front knee is behind your toes. You can even add a weight in your hands here if you want a little more leverage. All right. Our next exercise is that tricep dip. Again, option for the tricep extensions. Elbows pointing right forward or fingers on your chair, your bench. This could be the steps in your house, step stool, could be a curb outside, lots of options. You could even do this on the floor. Your just range of motion wouldn't be as big. Remember, the movement is coming from our shoulders and our elbow joints, not our hips bobbing up and down. All right, our next exercise, the rotating plank. So setting up your plank position. I know my arms are tired. Hopefully you're feeling this workout as well. Okay, on your knees or your toes. We're rotating it open to the right, sit it back down gently, open to the left, back down. Keep breathing. Doing great. Okay. Standing up for our jumping jacks. Here we go. Keep breathing. Remember your other options if this jumping jack isn't feeling right in your body. All right, next option, or our next exercise, is a squat with the leg lift out to the side. So feet slightly wider than hips distance, squatting it down, leg lifts up, toes and knees, pointing forward the whole time. Here we go. Squat and lift. Make sure you're still breathing. All right, make sure you finish out evenly. Step it up. Okay, we are doing those plank walks. Only 3 more exercises until we bring it down for abs. You got this. So pick your option for your plank walks. Again, I'm gonna face away from you. Plank position, hips low, just walking laterally to one side. As much as you can, as much as your space allows, back to the other. Make sure you're breathing, core engaged, always an option again, to be down on your knees. Or to have your arms slightly elevated. So you can do this on a curb or on a bench, or whatever you have available. All right, next exercise. We're doing the plank with the alternating arms and leg raises. So you can be in your plank position or on all fours. 30 seconds. Here we go, second to last exercise. Lift and lower, and lift and lower. So core's engaged here, gaze is down towards the floor. So we're keeping our belly from dropping down. Spine's long, so we're reaching out through the crown of our head and back through your tailbone. Keep breathing. All right. So our last exercise of our main set, it's that out in squat. So starting with your legs apart, we'll take a little water break after this and then bring it down to the floor. So hang in there, give it all you got. So in, out, squat. Hips sink low. Keep breathing. Give me one more. All right, standing up. Give me a step touch, grab a sip of water. Let's let our heart rate come down. We are gonna be bringing it down to the floor. So we want our heart rate to slow a little bit before we do that. Make sure, I'm just gonna move my chair so I don't end up taking it again. Okay, so let's bring it down. When you're ready, take your time. We're gonna start with just a basic crunch. So feet slightly wider than hips distance apart. Hands interlaced behind your head, elbows wide. We're gonna do 10 basic crunches. Inhale here, exhale lift for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Ankles come right up to knee height. Our knees are stacked right over top of our hips. So it's not all the way in here, it's not way up here. Knees right over top of hips. 10 like this. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Legs extended, heels lift right over top of our hips. 10 more like this for 10. 9, keeping space between your chin and your chest. Elbows wide, they should be all the way out at the end of your peripheral vision. We'll do 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, hands are gonna come either onto your glutes or right by your side, maybe holding your mat. Legs are gonna come down and then back up. Hips are gonna stay on the floor the whole time. And when we come down, we wanna stop wherever you feel your low back really starting to lift away from the floor. 10 here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, let's bring our feet flat to the floor. Hands this time holding onto the edge of your mat, or if you don't have a mat, just press them down into the floor, so palms down. We're gonna exhale here and inhale, lift your hips up as high as they can. So pressing into all four corners of your feet, lengthening your tailbone, so scooping it under like towards the backs of your knees, making space between your hips and your low back ribs. So lengthening here. And then making sure that your chin is staying away from your chest. And we're just gonna breathe here. One more breath. And on your exhale, gently lower your knees, or hips, back down to the floor. And let's take a little twist here so arms can come out like goalpost or T, whatever you have room for. Knees gently fall over to the left, holding here for a couple breaths. Inhaling your knees back up through center, And then exhaling them back over to your right. All right, bringing your knees back up through center, roll over to one side, and then gently make your way up to a standing position. So however that feels best in your body, but coming back up to stand. All right, we're gonna do a little lunge here. So right foot forward, left foot steps back. Reach that left heel way behind you and lengthen your tailbone down so you're getting a little stretch across your left hip flexor. And let's bring our right arm across. Breathing here. So stretching through that back calf. Again into that left hip flexor. And then across the front of our, I guess it's the back, this part of your shoulder. All right, let's release our arm, shift our weight to that back foot, lift up on the toes of your right foot, hips sink back evenly. So we want both hips reaching back. Hands come to the bent knee for support. So now we're stretching the hamstrings in our right leg. Maybe you're getting a little more into your calf. Stretches will feel different in different bodies, but I can tell you where I feel it in mine. So if you feel a different sensation, that's fine too, just so long as it's not pain or stress. Okay, shifting the weight forward to that front foot, reaching back for the shoelaces of your back foot, that left knee pointing right down to the floor. And again, lengthening your tailbone down so you're feeling it maybe all the way down into that quad. Oops. And of course, if you need a little balance assistance, a chair, wall, anything you have nearby. Maybe you're doing this with a buddy. Socially distanced, hopefully. Okay, tapping your left toe down, up and over, hips sink back. One more breath here. Stand it up. Other side. So our, right leg is gonna reach back behind us. Reaching your heel back so you get into that calf. Tailbone lengthening down so you feel a little across that right hip flexor. Left arm comes across. One more breath here. And we're going to shift our weight to that back foot, lift up on the toes of our left foot, hips sink back evenly, support from the bent knee, not the straight knee. So again, feeling this probably in your hamstrings, the muscles at the back of your thigh, and then your calf. And maybe you can even reach down for those toes. That's an option as well. But do what feels best in your body. So weight's going to shift forward to our left toes. Reach back for the shoelaces of your right foot. Bringing that knee right in line with your left knee. Tailbone lengthening down. One more breath. I'm going to release our right foot back down. Let's do a little shoulder stretch. So right arm comes up and over, grabbing that elbow. Just breathing here. I think we might have missed a stretch on the right side, so we'll do that in just a second. Reaching for the opposite elbow. I think we did the figure 4 on one side and not the other. So release that arm and let's bring your left ankle across your right knee and hip sink back. So this is probably stretching through that outer hip. All right, now stand it up. Now that we're even. Okay, take a deep breath. Inhale, arms reach up. And exhale. One more, big deep inhale. And exhale, release. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed your workout. Again, my name is Joella. I'm with UMBC Rec. This is Total Body Conditioning. It posts to the UMBC Rec Instagram and YouTube at 6 o'clock on Mondays. You can also catch me with some yoga at 6 o'clock on Thursdays. So again, I hope you enjoyed your workout. Have a great day.